right, Kevin, here we are in the readathon.
Another readathon.
You're not going to believe it.
I believe it.
The defense has rested.
Yeah, wow. After, 2 days of testimony?
It wasn't even a full 2 days. It was like a couple hours Friday, and it's like, I don't know, I'm on my lunch hour, dude, and they fucking finished their testimony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, how disappointing. I wanted this to go on forever.
Well, today was pretty good. You're going to like what I have to tell you about today.
Okay. But are we at all going to address at some point the weekend live stream?
The Rumble in Canton?
From Turtle Boy?
You want to talk about that first?
Let's set this up before we get to today's testimony.
All right. So, yesterday, Sunday, June 23rd, in the evening hours, Turtle Boy, Aidan Kearney, who of course is the blogger from Canton, who is the whole reason we know about this case, is the reason why Karen Reed might end up not being found guilty of this crime that, I think she probably would have been pretty easily convicted of and not had this high-profile attorney for sure, had this not become high-profile.
Right.
He is the blogger that brought this whole thing to light. He is, by the way, a real shit stirrer. Not going to pretend he's not. But he decided to go to Canton yesterday, he says, for some, quote, research and dinner. But, he's just a fucking shit stirrer. Let's be real. But he went to a restaurant called C.F. McCarthy's, which, by the way, got its best ad maybe that it's ever had in its entire existence yesterday, I think. Because Turtle Boy's made so much content about this. He went on Twitter Live last night, had 100,000 viewers. He's got a YouTube video of this whole incident that's an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
He talks about how great the food was at CF McCarthy's several times.
Yeah.
Anyway, CF McCarthy's is pretty much next door to Chris Albert's pizza shop.
Okay.
Chris Albert is, of course, Brian Albert, the homeowner at Fairview's brother.
Right.
I know you like it when I signpost. Am I doing a good job here?
Doing a great job, yeah.
And is a town selectman in Canton.
Okay. Okay, sure.
So, Turtle Boy, Aidan Kearney, is at C.F. McCarthy's having dinner with his girlfriend and I believe another woman, but definitely his girlfriend. I believe her name is Meredith. They come out of the restaurant at some point and they see Colin Albert outside. Colin Albert is, of course, Brian Albert's nephew, Chris Albert's son, and one of the potential suspects in the, whatever happened to John O'Keefe situation, right?
Right.
Weirdly, Colin Albert starts filming Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy films everything, just to know.
Okay.
But also Colin Albert's wearing a hoodie and long pants, and it's fucking 100 degrees yesterday in Canton. So anyway, Colin starts yelling at him, telling him to go fuck himself, whatever. And Turtle Boy does this great gaslighty, I'm just here eating. What are you mad at? Of course they're mad at you because everybody they fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Apparently there's some dude who I don't know who he is who quote assaulted him. I guess he pushed him or whatever, took his phone. And I didn't see that incident because that's not when the really good video starts. The really good video starts.
But he did call the police. Somebody called the police at that moment. And so the police were en route. Okay.
Well, I don't know if they were en route because it took them another 15 minutes to get there.
Well,
they had been called.
Didn't say. They had been called. And so they were on their way. But who knows how fast. But go ahead.
So while they're waiting on the sidewalk, allegedly for the police to arrive or something, they look over, and outside the Albert pizza shop are a bunch of fucking Alberts.
Yeah.
Chris is out there. Colin's out there. There's another Albert out there. I think maybe Kevin was there.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
You know who Kevin is, right?
Kevin
the
Albert?
The drinking buddy one?
Oh, this was, did I leave my badge and gun in your car?
Yeah, I think he may have been there, not 100 on that. There was a guy there named Ryan Nagel who had testified in the case. He apparently had testified it was really good for the defense, but now he's really embedded with the Albert folks. Ryan Nagel, by the way, was the one who testified, I believe, that he saw Karen outside and nothing was going on with her and John kind of situation. I believe that was Ryan Nagel.
Sure.
Anyway, he was the one whose sister said, come in the party. And he was like, no, thank you. Anyway, he's now there. They're all on the sidewalk in front of the pizza shop screaming at him fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Now, I have tape of this, so I'm going to play it. I'm just going to say a disclaimer. If there weren't a dead man at the center of all this would have been the funniest fucking thing that's ever happened. Okay.
Right.
But we have to, of course, remember, just know, listeners, I know that there's a dead person at the center of this, and I'm not I know that. That being said, This whole thing was objectively hysterical because these people, especially the Alberts, they've all just been fucking witnesses in a murder case and in front of a federal grand jury, and they're standing on a sidewalk taunting and screaming at the blogger who made them all famous for said murder investigation. Horrible fucking idea, right?
We would have got away with it too if it weren't for you meddling bloggers.
Right. To me, there's a couple really funny parts in this video. Hands down, the funniest part comes at the minute and 35-second mark, and I'm going to play that for you right now.
We'll see. There's Colin's talking. He's got a lot. I'm glad he's not intimidated at least. I'm glad he's not intimidated at least. So, yeah, we got there. I'm surprised to see Ryan down here like this. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And I didn't say shit. I'm not protesting.
Man, yes, Colin was in the house.
This is a random woman driving by the scene, a Canton resident, like supporting Turtle Boy, yelling in front of Colin. Colin was in the house. Okay.
Do you think it was just coincidence, or do you think like the bat signal went up and they're like, Turtle Boy's down at the Albert's Pizza Place. Everybody get down there.
But anyway, all this happens. Lots of confrontational shit.
What are they like? This is wild. These guys, they prove me right every single time. Every time, baby. Every time. I hope you're ready to hear the words not guilty, right? Get ready for the words not guilty. Not guilty. Not guilty. Not guilty. Get used to those words. You're going to hear it this week.
Then, about 10 minutes and 30 seconds into this broadcast, a white Toyota Highlander comes rolling up.
I even forgot about this. Yeah.
Rolling up like a goddamn sheriff's car. And out of the passenger door.
And even though it's nose-in parking, this car comes in and just like parallel with the street, just swoops in, covering 3 spots.
Like the Batmobile.
Yeah,
like,
or a police
and out
car.
of the passenger seat comes a heretofore unknown to me, but I guess known to Turtle Boy readers, a woman named Jill. All right?
Jill.
Comes flying out of the car, a heavily tanned, workout clothing wearing woman named Jill.
Mm-hmm.
She comes flying at fucking Turtle Boy like a banshee, screaming at him, and knocks his phone out of his hand. I've got tape of that you can hear right now.
Here she is.
You know what? I'm so sick of shit.
Oh, she stole
I'm sick of your shit. Okay? Enough is enough. You're a prick.
Can I have my phone?
How's the kids? They must be so proud of their dad.
That's assault, Joe.
I'm gonna
need my phone back.
Fuck up, Big Bird. You're a fucking bird.
You look 20 years older
than me. You look fatter than me.
I'm gonna need my phone back.
Boom. You're a fat fuck.
I keep thinking, if someday there is, of course someday there will be, not just a documentary, but like a dramatized, like an HBO prestige television dramatized series, this would be the scene that they would open with. The fucking craziness of this scene, and then flashback to...
Yes.
You got the cops coming. You got people swinging at each other. You got people FUing each other. You got the city councilor getting shit talked, and oh my god, this is just crazy.
So I said Jill was heretofore unknown to me. I guess she's known to close case watchers. Do you know who this woman Jill is?
She's somebody's sister, right?
She's Julie's sister. She's Chris's sister-in-law. Right? Mm-hmm. So she just rolled up to her sister's family business. And I'm just going to play a little bit more tape of what happened immediately after she comes rolling out of the car.
Where's your top lip?
I'm gonna need
Where's
my
your
phone
top
back,
lip? And I'm sorry, didn't you go loopy? Didn't you go crazy?
Jill, can I please have my...
Shut the fuck up! No one else.
Can I have my phone back, please?
Have his property.
Can I have my phone back, please, Jill?
Go ahead. Give him his phone.
I need my phone back, Jill. Don't you I need my phone back. Okay, so that just happened. That just happened. That just happened.
Piece of shit. I have wrinkles. I don't care, but guess what? I have a good heart.
You have a great heart.
You're a prick. You're going to jail, and I cannot wait. And guess what? You're going to be without a boyfriend because this prick is going to jail.
I mean, I'll be with my boyfriend longer than you will. You're just gonna die.
Okay, don't even worry about it. She's not worried. This is a try. Just let her talk. Just let her talk. Just let her talk. Just let her talk.
You're the one yelling right now.
Just let her talk. Don't even talk back. Don't even talk back. Don't even talk back. Don't even talk back. Who are you yelling at?
Who are you? Like, look at you. How many times you got punched in the nose?
I don't know.
Your teeth, you make fun of my teeth. Yours is shit.
No, it's mostly your skin, but okay.
My skin,
Yeah.
I have wrinkles. I don't care.
Yeah,
Guess
I mean-
what? I stick up my finger. How many siblings do you have? Has anyone stuck up for you?
A bunch.
No, they don't like you.
They don't?
like
Okay,
you.
if you say so.
You guys can all tape me. Like, why are you taping me?
So here is Jill on the streets, right? Talking to Turtle
yeah.
Boy. Now, at this point, there are a bunch of people gathered around Turtle Boy filming this,
Yeah.
filming her. And she's like, why are you all fucking filming me? And he's like, well, I don't know, Jill. Why are they all filming you? Could it be because you're insane right now? Anyway, it's a scene. She's bananas. They're all bananas. They continue swearing, cursing, screaming at him. And he's just like doing that hilarious gaslighty thing where he's like, look at them. They're thugs. They're animals. This is what they do when they're sober. Imagine what they're like when they've been drinking.
Can I just say one thing?
Like,
Can I just say one
yeah.
thing about Jill? Because I really would like to hear how the testimony today went. There are a lot of people, that are on the what are they? What are the portmanteau? The McAlberts,
McAlberts, yes.
the McAlberts, the Alberts and the McCabes. That come off like this. There are a lot of people there that know something, and there are a lot of people there that know and love people who know something but know nothing themselves. And so she
Maybe,
strikes
yeah.
me as somebody who probably doesn't really know what happened, but other than the things that the people that she cared for told them. So
Right.
I don't blame somebody for being pissed off at Turtle Boy or thinking that Karen Reed did it because, people that they care about are entangled in it, and that the people that are entangled in it are telling you one thing.
Right.
But
That being said,
trashy is all hell.
but do you know that like when you're watching somebody in court, like a defendant, and like the defendant gets super fucking angry, and maybe they got super angry because they didn't do it, but like how that's like a real bad look for the jury because like, it shows aggression or whatever.
Yeah.
All of these people were like so angry. Now keep in mind, we know
I'm sure
Turtle
they're
Boy.
100% sober. I'm sure at this
Yeah,
time in the
I don't know.
I'm
So
sure
let
they
me
were
tell you what-
thrilled to see that Pizza Boy went out of his way to have dinner at the restaurant
Turtle
next
Boy,
door.
not Pizza Boy.
Yeah.
By the way, he invented an expression that you'll hear over and over in the video that I love. I'm going to start using it.
Yeah.
I'm just here to have a meal of food.
A meal of food.
We're just trying to eat. We're just trying to eat a meal of food. We're just trying to eat a meal of food.
He says it again, and I've never heard anyone say that. It's
But
like,
I
is that a
wanted to
Massachusetts
drink from
thing?
your tears. Yes,
It's
yes.
so funny. I'm here to
Okay.
have a meal of food. Okay, can I just tell you what happens next in the video? Just it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
He and his girlfriend drive to Walgreens. I don't know if she needs something. I don't know. If they fucking go to Walgreens.
This
she
is a
gets out of
live
the
stream,
car.
right? This is why this is going on forever,
This live
right?
stream
Yeah.
was an hour and a half long.
Oh, shit.
I've watched
Okay.
the whole thing twice. I sent you the link,
Twice?
Kevin. I'm telling you, it's better than a Bravo show. I watched
Real Housewives of Canton.
I watched it last night, and then I watched it again this morning, real time, with our friend Jamie Piscitelli, so I could get his reactions as we were watching it together.
Yeah, okay.
All right. They then go to Walgreens. He gets out on the parking lot. He is mobbed. And some of the funny people who come over to him are like teenagers. By the way, this also happened on the street in front of the restaurant after the police were there. By the way, the police did issue like Jill's being charged with assault. Apparently the other guy is too. But teenagers are coming over and they want to take a picture with him. They're like, hey, can I get this for my Snapchat, right? So this happens on the main street. Huge crowd. Everybody wants his autograph. Everybody wants social media photos with him. He goes to Walgreens. Same fucking thing. People are beeping and honking at him, stopping their cars, screaming at him. They're getting out of their cars, wanting to pose for pictures with him. Kids coming over on their skateboards. Like, can I go
What's this
live on my
about?
Snapchat with you?
Can I go
He's a
live?
hero. Everybody knows who he is
Yeah.
by sight.
Yeah. I do have to say that if this blogger went by a more serious name than Turtle
Yeah.
Boy, that a lot of this would be perceived differently. But
Yeah.
because the guy, the center of the Woodward and Bernstein guy in this is Turtle Boy. This is it just becomes ludicrous. But go ahead. Yeah. It's crazy.
All right. So it's insane. I'll put the link to the video on YouTube in the show notes for this readathon. So if folks want to watch it themselves, they can.
Yeah, if you need another hour
I
and a half
highly recommend it. I highly recommend it.
Even the first 10 minutes is pretty good. All right.
Dude, the first 15 minutes are insane. But even after the cops come, but seriously, the woman driving by and saying Colin was in the house is so funny, but it's also so indicative of what this case has done to this town.
Right.
Down here like this. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Another insane part is when the woman comes out and starts screaming at Chris because he's a selectman.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, you're representing this town. And he's like, fuck you. Who are you? She's like, I live here. This is my town. It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So today in court, a big one, Kevin. A big one.
All right.
Our first witness for the defense today, a very kindly Irish immigrant pathologist named Dr. Frank Sheridan.
Okay.
Dr. Frank Sheridan's credentials are amazing, as usual. He's like recently retired. He's like, one of these very, very distinguished forensic pathologists, really, really measured, kindly Irish accent, like grandpa-ish, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he testifies that basically there's no consistency with being hit by a car in any of these injuries.
Okay.
There's no bruising. There's no bruising on the arm, just the linear abrasions. He said he would expect to see lots of bruising in the arm if he had been hit by a car in the arm. He says he has seen autopsies of people attacked by animals, and that, he can't say for 100% sure, but his basic impression upon his first looking at the photo was that it looked like John O'Keefe's arm had been scratched and maybe bitten by a large dog. And he actually pointed with a laser pointer at what he thought was the bite mark.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he said basically what you would expect a reasonable medical examiner would say. On cross-examination, basically Lally used a lot of his cross-examinations today to reassert facts in front of the jury. Like, were you aware in the material you were provided that there were microscopic pieces of taillight on John O'Keefe's shirt? And the medical examiner was like, no. Now, keep in mind, I'm watching this and I'm like, why would that even be relevant to the medical examiner, dude? But whatever. Were you aware that the DNA from the dog was not found on his shirt? He's like, nope, et cetera, et cetera. He asked, did you perform O'Keefe's autopsy yourself? No, like stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, he says he couldn't say definitively what kind of animal attacked him. It was sort of like he vaguely recalls hearing some details of the crime, but and at the end, this happens over and over again today. Lally asks, whether it was, quote, not possible for O'Keefe to receive the arm injuries by being struck by a vehicle. And Sheridan's like, no, the wounds don't look anything like that. They appear nothing like that. So great ending there for Lally.
Yeah.
So that was the first witness today. You want to hear who came next?
Who came next?
Our two guys, Daniel Wolf and Dr. Rentschler from ARCA.
Okay, so remind us if we've seen them before.
We have. We saw them on Voir Dire Day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Daniel Wolf is the very, very handsome accident reconstruction expert who I can imagine every juror was like checking out to see if they were single, maybe hook them up with their daughters kind of situation.
Okay.
I'm just saying, incredible witness, impeccable credentials. Once again, amazing. They spent like 15 minutes asking about their education and certifications.
Yeah.
So basically, he's their head of the accident reconstruction department at this like world-renowned place that works with the U.S. military, the federal government, and the NHL, among lots of other organizations.
Yep.
And they give testimony in federal jurisdictions, state jurisdictions, civil cases. They're the gold standard accident reconstruction team.
Right.
All right?
Right. So when earlier the prosecution's witness, the medical examiner, said she couldn't determine something, it would take an expert in this kind of physics. What is it?
No, that's Rentschler. That's what she's talking about.
Okay, all right. So that's coming up. All right, never mind.
The difference between
I don't mean to
between them two.
Derail this.
No,
but
it's actually important.
All right.
It's actually important. So they were asked about this. The difference between Wolf and Rentschler work together.
Yeah.
Wolf essentially looks at the car side of the equation.
Uh-huh.
And Rentschler is the biomechanics guy who looks at the person side of the equation. So though they work together, Wolf is like, I look at the machine, the damage to the machine, the forces of the machine, the computers of the machine, whatever, And Rentschler looks at the injuries, what caused them, how to prevent them, how to build things better. So he's like the body person and the kinematics person, and Wolf is the machine person. That's essential. You know, they're both experts in both, but that's sort of how they work together. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Okay.
Okay. So Wolf basically says, there's no fucking way that this crash did the things that you guys say it were doing. You know, but he talks about the tests they did. So basically there's this whole opening thing where it's like, did you even ever speak to us before today? Jackson says, no. Have we you were hired by us? No. So it kind of comes out you were hired by a third party.
I.e.
right
the
before,
FBI. Okay.
Well, it comes out.
Oh, it comes out. Okay.
So one of the things they did was they built a cannon where they basically tossed fake heads at the car to see if he could have gotten his head injury from the car.
Okay.
They're like, no. Basically, like, what would you expect to see in terms of damage to the taillight? And basically, we'd expect to see, the essence of his testimony was, if any part of John's body hit Karen's taillight at any speed over 15 miles per hour, which is basically the minimum speed, he basically said, at which someone could be hit by a car and get hurt, they would expect to see deformation of the body paneling and the lift gate taillight. And they don't see anything like that on her car.
Okay.
So there's no damage on the car that looks anything remotely like a person who was hit by that car. Okay? That's the main takeaway. Next witness, Andrew Rentschler. What Lucky was last week, Andrew Rentschler for me was this week.
Okay.
The most unshakable scientific witness I have ever seen. Like, he was like a Law and Order fucking witness, okay? His credentials, perfect, all that stuff. By the way, one thing I learned from him is that your arm weighs the same as your head. FYI.
Okay.
So basically, he's on the human side of it. Again, goes through, I've never spoken to you before today. Never. We've never talked about your report. Never. Yada, yada, yada. He basically says there's nothing injury-wise that in any way is like consistent with the strike of a car, right? You would have had bruising. If to be thrown that far, you would have had to been hit at center mass, but like there's just nothing consistent with anything like that. He, had all this incredible testimony about that. And then plus was able to talk about, the arm stuff, the abrasions on the arm. He's like, this just not consistent with anything like a taillight. Now, keep in mind, what he said, that both of these guys said was they were not provided with a theory of a car strike by the third-party agency. They were just given the material and asked to reconstruct what could have happened.
Okay.
So what he basically says is the injuries are not consistent by being with a car either on the arm or the head. And by the way, you could not get an injury where he did, very likely by hitting your head on grass covered with snow. By the way, you know where the head injury was? What I didn't know before today. The very, very bottom of the back of John O'Keefe's head.
So kind of where the skull
was consistent with falling and hitting something.
Okay.
Okay.
But
that's
not
that
but not snow-covered grass.
Well, they didn't test for frozen ground, which comes up in the cross-examination.
Okay.
Which is not insignificant. Okay. Cross-examination. Lally does his whole thing where he tries to bring in facts for the jury again. Were you aware of a videotape that showed John with a drink? He's like, no, but that wouldn't change my mind. Were you aware that there was DNA on the taillight of the car? He goes, well, we were made aware of that after our report, but it's not blood evidence. And there's many ways that DNA could get on the taillight of a car. He fucking says.
His girlfriend's car. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He says, were you aware that there were microscopic taillight pieces in John O'Keefe's shirt? Yeah, I was aware they were within the shirt. We found that out after the report, but they weren't in his body. Now, keep in mind, this guy had testified again and again and again and again that if you were hit by a car, shit happens to your body.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
A big question was, could he have hit his head on the frozen ground and gotten those injuries? Did you test for that? And he said, well, we can test for that. What we'd have to do is replicate the conditions exactly, which would mean that we'd have to know the weather in advance and blah, 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 blah. And he said, is it possible that you can do that? He goes, it is possible, but we didn't. And he's like, you didn't? And he said, no, because the damage to the car was so inconsistent with him being struck by a car, which he would have had to have been in order to fall like that and get pushed that far in order to hit his head on the ground. So he's basically like, we didn't do it because it didn't make any sense.
Right.
It was incredible. It was an incredible piece of testimony. Basically, the one last thing that I want to mention is that, do you remember Trooper Paul's scientific sideswipe analysis, where you can't perform the same velocity test because a sideswipe is so different than a head-on strike?
Yeah.
Well, you can't, the formulas don't work, the velocity, the whatever.
The formulas don't work, right?
Fucking Lolly tried to use Trooper Paul's sideswipe analysis with this guy.
With this
he said,
super expert, okay.
You usually look at people being hit by front of vehicles, right? And he's like, no, we see all kinds of them. People being backed over, people being hit all kinds of ways. He goes, are you familiar with a sideswipe collision? He's like, yeah. Are you familiar with the ways people can interact with a vehicle when they're hit sideswiped? He's like, yeah. So he's trying to get him to say that, a sideswipe is different. Mm-hmm. And the guy, Drenchler, says, well, here's the thing with a sideswipe. Sideswipe impacts have such minimal impact that a person wouldn't even move if they were sideswiped by a car.
Yeah, think about if you're playing pool and you strike you strike a ball head on versus hitting it in the side. What happens to that ball?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could spit it in English and whatnot. You could, and that's what I can see happen to body getting spun around, but not launched okay.
Yeah, so he basically said that wouldn't even come up as a theory because he wouldn't have been moved if basically he'd been sideswiped. That just doesn't, So it's like there goes that piece of, quote, science that Trooper Paul brought into play. And then finally, the last thing, which I think Lally...
It's true. You can't study that because the formulas don't take that into account because it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's bullshit. So the final thing, which I think Lally thought was like a big punch, which I don't necessarily think was he basically said, you indicate in your report that injuries would be consistent with being pushed and his head hitting something, and that any kind of falling event could have caused that injury to the back of his head, even being hit by a car. And the guy was like, literally any event that had caused him to fall backwards and hitting his head, yes, could have caused that injury. And Jackson did not redirect. That was it. That was the last piece of testimony of the day. There was a great moment where he basically asked him, do you know that the car is still in physical state custody, right? Like, how come you never wanted to look at the actual car? And he's like, yeah, I guess I knew it was in custody, but it was completely unnecessary for me to look at the car in any way to change my opinion in this case. Like, he was unshakable. Mm-hmm. It was a really, really interesting day. Same thing with the report. Like, how come this isn't in your report? He's like, because it's a statement of fact. Like, I'm telling you now. I didn't have to put it in my report. Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's the end of the defense. And tomorrow is closing arguments after all of that.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're each going to have an hour to close.
Okay.
So I assume there will be 2 hours of closing, probably an hour and then a break and then an hour, and then jury instructions, right?
Right.
So we could have a verdict tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. We don't know. I mean, who knows how long it will take.
Right. So, but the judge today did not give any indication about when the jury would be getting their instructions and sent back to start deliberations.
Well, I think it'll be tomorrow. Yeah, because they're going to each have an hour to close.
Right.
So I can't imagine that will take longer.
They'll have jury instructions before lunch.
Yeah.
And then they'll get underway. Okay. And the clock will start ticking.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
So anyway,
Rebecca, what a great readathon.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens at the end of this trial. It's, again, feel bad for the O'Keefes. They have a dead loved one, and it doesn't appear like the state has given any indication that they're going to be looking into what really happened here, but that's what happened today, and we'll be back to talk about what happens tomorrow with the closing arguments. Should be interesting. All right, Kevin, thanks so much for joining me. Let's go have a meal of food.
We're just trying to eat a meal of food.
A meal of food sounds good.
Talk to you later.
Partners in Crime Media.